It is official. Gavi is going to be missing out on playing Barcelona games for the rest of this season. He is no longer going to be making out a single appearance. It is because he tore his ACL, and the next time we are going to be seeing Gavi will be in September 2024. That is a very long time. A very long time. September is like 9 months from today? So we have November, January, so like around 8 to 9 months of Gavi not playing football. And the reason why Gavi will not be playing football is because he has been outworked. And I don't know why, I don't understand why so many coaches don't see this from farther away. How come they don't see these potential injuries that these players could occur? Because look, Ansu Fati made his debut in the 2019-2020 season. Since then, he has missed multiple games for Barcelona because he has been encountering injuries like every 3 to 4 months. And I remember when he came back in the 2020-2021 season, he scored an amazing goal, and then like 2 or 4 days later, Ansu Fati got re-injured again, and he had to sit out for another 4 to 5 months. So Ansu Fati was getting injured over and over again because Barcelona were rushing the player back because they felt like they needed the player regardless of how he felt. We move on towards Pedri. Pedri started in the 2020-2021 season. He came in, he played 71 games, participated in all matches, very similar to what we saw with Gavi. And then eventually, the season after that, Pedri encountered a very serious injury, and from there, he was never the same. Every time he came back from an injury, he just got re-injured, and he had to sit out for another 3 to 4 or 5 months. Even this season, look at Pedri. Pedri had to still sit out for like a month and a half. So Pedri, the reason why Pedri even encountered those problems is because he was being outworked, because he played in the Euros and in the Olympics, in all Barcelona matches, the friendlies, and now we see Pedri, we're like, okay, could he get injured? Oh my God, if he makes that sprint down the left flank, he could get injured again. Like, we get scared when these young players make huge sprints because we're just so traumatized after everything that we have been seeing in the past 2 or 3 years. We can move on towards Frenkie de Jong, another player that has been overworked. Look at how Barcelona have been punished this season, with Frenkie also being out for 2 months. He's barely coming back in this Saturday's game. And the last time he played was back in, I think, September. So he has missed so many games. And we can go on and on about all of these other injuries and how these youngsters are getting these serious injuries, and till this very day, we don't learn from them. We outworked Gavi. He went to go play a friendly, meaningless match, and he got injured. And then the coaches act like they're, what's his name? De La Fuente, the coach of Spain. He acts very shocked, as if like he never knew that this was going to happen. He knew that was going to happen. He knew that Gavi was playing all of the games, all the minutes possible, and that, eventually you could encounter a very serious injury. Just to give you guys perspective on how much Gavi has been playing since he made that debut back in 2021, it has been said that Gavi leads all Barcelona outfield players in minutes, appearances, and starts in all competitions since he joined the first team back in 2021. We can also read here that Gavi has played in 138 games out of a possible 148 for Barcelona and Spain since his debut in 2021. Most of those games were missed only because of suspension. So it wasn't because the coaches believed that Gavi needed rest. It was because he simply got suspended. That was his only break. And I just find this so frustrating, right? Because the fact that Gavi got injured in a match that did not even matter, right? Because the team was already qualified in the first place. I don't know why you had to use Gavi in that match. Like, why place him there? One of the things that, first of all, the fact that Gavi got injured, right, it punishes Barcelona for the long term, because now it leaves Barcelona in a very vulnerable spot. Like, yes, we're going to be having Frenkie and Pedri back, but still, we need someone like Gavi. I'll be talking about how Barcelona will look like without Gavi, but like, it's frustrating because when is this going to stop? When is it going to stop? Like, when? Please tell me. Like, this curse that Barcelona is going through, when is this curse going to stop? We haven't seen Frenkie, Pedri, and Gavi and Gundogan share the field at all. I think that we did once, but it's not consistent. Like, this team that Xavi Hernandez could coach, it can be so much better if only these players were healthy. But we cannot see that. The moment Frenkie comes back, Gavi gets injured. When Frenkie When Frankie gets injured, now we have Gavi coming back. When Pedri gets injured, Gavi comes back. Like we never have these players together ever, and that is because of all of these competitions that these players have to play. And you know what's the worst thing from all of this is that next season the Champions League is being built for these players to play even more games, to play even more. I don't know what's wrong with these people that that are in charge of the leagues and these competitions, but do you guys think that these players are robots? Do you think that these players can play 2 or 3 matches per week and then go on to international break and represent Spain or represent Argentina or whoever, right? Uruguay or Brazil, and go on and play another 2 matches? I don't understand. And we don't even get breaks in the summer because we have to play the Euros or the Copa America or whatever, right? It's just too many games. And going back to De La Fuente, right? Because I know that I kind of got sidetracked, but one of the things that he did say that really, really did not sit with me well, it was a couple of days ago. He said, like, some interviewer asked him, like, what do you think about Gavi's minutes and how are you going to manage it? And he said something like, good players should never be rested. They should play all the matches because Gavi is a phenomenal player and they should be playing like every match. He said something like that. And I'm like, okay, so now I know where his head is at. He believes that because Gavi is so good, he should be playing in every game no matter what. No matter if it's important or if it's not important, that important player, which is Gavi, should be playing no matter what. And I was like, okay, like that's a serious problem, because if you think that your most important player should be playing in every match no matter what, eventually you're going to be encountering that problem of the physical fitness of that specific player. And now a couple of days later we see Gavi tearing his ACL, and I knew that this was coming, and I don't understand why these people that work within the clubs or the national teams don't see the problem that or the consistency of problems that is going on. Ansu Fati got injured, Pedri got injured, Frankie de Jong got injured, and they get injured over and over again. And you guys not once think, can you guys not think that maybe the reason why these players constantly get injured is because of the amount of minutes they have to get into? I don't get it. So FIFA has also stated that, because Barcelona are going to be losing their most important player, and for a very long time this season, they're going to be paying Barcelona about 20,000 euros a day, 20 days after the injury did a cure. So I think by, I would say, December 8th or something like that, that is when FIFA are going to start, depositing those payments per day, which is 20,000 euros per day. And I did the math to see how much Barcelona will be receiving. Barcelona will be getting around 4 million to 4.5 million from Gavi's injury. And I don't even think that that's enough. I think that we should triple this amount. FIFA should pay us 60,000 a day. 60,000 K a day, so we can get around 12 million euros for Gavi's injury. And also I would also want FIFA or whoever, right, or whoever's in charge of like what Barcelona have to pay for in terms of wages, they should roll off Gavi's salary and not even count Gavi's salary, so we can reduce the wage bill for this season, and for the winter transfer window we can invite new players. But I just want to see the best Barcelona possible, man. You don't know how mad this gets me. When I saw this news on my phone and I was in my car, I wanted to crash my car so bad. No, I'm just joking. But I was so furious, because I'm like, I knew that the game that Spain was playing on that day, it did not matter. And when I saw Gavi get injured and he was crying and he had to go out the field, I'm just like, dude, like, really? Like, yeah, and we're not the only club that is going through stuff like this. Like, for example, Real Madrid is also experiencing problems like this. I think Vinicius got injured. I think Camavinga also got injured. There's a lot of players that Real Madrid have right now that are experiencing a lot of injuries, and there's also a couple of players that have long-term injuries. I think one of them is Courtois, and the other one is, I could be wrong, I think it's Militao or Alaba or something like that. But a lot of clubs are going through difficulties like this, and I also want to admire the work that Pep Guardiola has also been doing with Man City, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but many of the players that play under him, they barely play. They barely get past 60 minutes, because Pep Guardiola knows, and he's very well aware, that these players are playing too much. This is why you see Haaland come out the game on the 60th minute, is because he knows that Haaland cannot play all the minutes and in every game. So Pep Guardiola has been very smart in terms of how he manages the minutes for these players. Even Phil Foden, right? He sometimes he doesn't even start Phil Foden. Sometimes Phil Foden comes in the last 20 minutes. Sometimes Julian Alvarez does not start and he comes in the last 20 minutes. Or if Julian Alvarez starts, he gets out very early. So Pep Guardiola has been doing everything correctly on his half. So I think that this is something that maybe the coaches can learn from, to see how these players are being managed by Pep Guardiola. And this is why I also say, right, and I said this before, and you guys can go back to all the videos that I have been posting on this channel, but I've said this before. I want Xavi to put the best possible starting 11. And the best possible starting 11, I'm gonna tell you guys why. The best possible starting 11 is Balde, Araujo, Koundé, and Christensen. That defensive line, with a midfield of Gundogan, Pedri, or Frankie, whoever's available in the midfield, right? The best possible 11. And then having Gavi, Lewandowski, Rafinha. I think that's the best. Gavi, Lewandowski, Rafinha. Yeah, that is probably the best front three that you could place. And I say that because that is a team that can put the game away as fast as possible. They can make it 3-0, 4-0 before the 65th minute. And that's very important, because if you put the game away as fast as possible, you can finally take out those players and put in your substitutions. Put in Joao Felix, put in Joao Cancelo, put in Marcos Alonso, put in whoever, Fermin Lopez. You could put in Lamine Yamal. You could put anybody, Ferran Torres, right? You could put anybody there past the 60th minute and rotate those players, because they got the job done very early. You put your best players in and you have them rested, because they put 2 or 3 goals past the opposition. This is something that City does very well. That is why Haaland comes out before the 70th minute, because the job is done. That is it. That's why I think that the whole management system should be changed. I don't want to see Joao Felix, Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres front three. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Joao Cancelo starting on the right back position with Alejandro Balde, because you have a high chance that defensive line can concede goals, and now you're screwed. Now you're gonna have to have your best players play through the full 90 minutes. This is why I say that something like that is very important, so you can just manage these minutes of these players better. So I really wonder, stepping away from that, right? I really wonder what this winter transfer window is going to look like, because there has been reports and stories about how Barcelona's plans have changed, and that they might look at Vitor Roque's transfer less valuable, because they think that they need another midfielder. So I don't know if Barcelona are looking at Pablo Torre, or they want to bring in what's his name? Noah Dadovic from Barcelona B. Maybe Barcelona are considering bringing in Zubimendi, because Xavi Hernandez has been really wanting Zubimendi for a very long time. And there has been reports about Barcelona making that huge investment for Zubimendi, which is 60 million euros. I don't know. I have no idea, right? I know that it seems like it's very expensive and that Barcelona cannot do that. But if Barcelona truly rule off the signing of Vitor Roque for this January, I don't know. Like I literally have no idea what Xavi's thinking of right now, because this screws up everything. Gavi's injury screws up everything. And that leads towards another conversation, right? Is, what is this Barcelona team without Gavi? Like what is that Barcelona team going to look like for the next 7 to 8 months of this season? And I see a Barcelona that's very less intense, very much less aggressive, less defensive. I see a team that doesn't win the ball back as fast as possible. I just don't, because Gavi was the heart and the engine in the middle of the pitch. And I don't see these Barcelona players looking at their current state, because of where we left off before the international break. I don't see them like wanting the ball as fast as possible, winning the ball, controlling the game, controlling the ball. I just don't see that without Gavi. We need Gavi in the midfield. And I think that if we're not going to be a team that can win the ball back in the middle of the pitch, if we're not going to be so defensive, and if Barcelona are going to be losing their energy, I want to see a Barcelona that can, at the very least, when they have the ball, you control the ball well and you defend amazing. Like, now that I think about it, I think that it is much more mandatory now to have Koundé, Christensen, Araujo, and Balde. I don't know how many times I gotta say that. It's much more mandatory now that I think about it, because if you lose Gavi, you lose 60% of your energy. And I think that the opposition will find ways to get through the midfield, which will contain Frankie, Gundogan, and Pedri, and we're going to need to have a wall in the back. And the only way you can have the wall at the back is by having those 4 players that I have selected. If Xavi uses Balde, Joao Cancelo in the back, and then you have Joao Felix on the left, then I wish Barcelona luck. If Xavi wants to do that, and he wants to say, no, I don't want to play defensive, and I don't want to play controlling football, I want to be very attack focused, regardless if Gavi's here or not, then by all means do it. Just do it. Just watch how many games Barcelona are going to finish off winning 4-2 or 4-3, or losing 3-2 or losing 2-1. Watch how many games are going to end up like that. Xavi can do that if he wants. If he wants to put Joao Felix
left wing, Balde left back, Joao Cancelo right back. Go ahead, bro. Like, if you want to do that, go ahead. If you guys think that that's the best starting 11, and you guys think that having more goals is more important than conceding goals, then like I don't know, bro. Like if you guys all really want to see that, then and if Xavi really wants to do that, then by all means go for it. You know, like Xavi at the end of the day is the coach of Barcelona, and I'm not. I'm just somebody that speaks to the microphone and I just analyze. That's it. That's it. So, like to me, right? I would have that defensive line that I have just named: Balde, Christian Araujo, and Kunde, with our midfield being Frankie, Gundogan, and I would say Fermin Lopez, and then having Pedri as a left winger because, like I said, I want to see a Barcelona that controls the ball, that controls the game. I don't want the opposition controlling and deciding how the outcome of this game should look like. Pedri can play on the left wing. Take Joao Felix out. Yes, I know that he has had a great international break, but still, playing at Barcelona is much different. So having Fermin Lopez, Pedri, Gundogan, Frankie, 4 midfielders in the starting 11 when we come back would be something that would definitely work, and especially when you have a great defensive line like that, like what I have just named. But we'll see. Like I said, I don't know what Xavi's thinking. Yeah, I know that you guys are going to be saying, I'm tired of the 4-back midfield. I just want to see goals. I want to see Joao Felix. I want to see Lamine Yamal. I just want goals. I don't care if we can see 3 goals. If we score 5, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, whatever, bro. It is what it is. I'm pissed off about Gavi's injury. We'll see how Barcelona adapt to this problem, and we move forward from here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.